Well, we managed to find the wiglets. I had the adults the other day, but there were no sign of the wiglets. But I am delighted to inform everybody that the wiglets are both, I would say, safe and well. The one on the right, or at the right of screen at the moment, looks not very happy with life. It did a little bit wet and cold after last night's drizzle. Looks a little bit like, you know, when you got like wet toilet paper or wet tissue paper stuck on the top of his head. But I've noticed there's a marked size difference between these two. And I don't know whether that is just because of one is getting more food than the other. It's normal with two chicks. One will generally get the lion's share, as it were, and grows bigger, and then it's sort of a knock-on effect. But the other one looks to be in reasonably good health, and they look like they're still friends about it, at least. The other one actually looked as if it was sort of resting its head on the bigger one's shoulder earlier, maybe using its bigger bulk for a little bit of shelter from the wind down here. But nice to see them out and about. They're exploring further and further away from their nest. They're probably about 60-70 metres away from the nest where they hatched. I haven't seen the adults this morning, but very, very nice to see the wiglets. They are growing up quickly, and it won't be long until they start going off on their own. They normally stay close to the nest for about 2 months, 6 to 8 weeks perhaps. And then they'll have completely gone by about 4 months. So we'll have to see. I'm trying to work out how old they must be now. They must be closing in on 6 weeks or there or thereabouts. So they'll probably hang around a little bit longer. But I hope we get to see them sort of take their first flights, and of course wish them all the best as they go out into the big bad world. But beginning to look more like adults now, particularly the one on the left. You can see the definition around the face. Those facial discs are beginning to take shape now. Those ear tufts are definitely there. They look like little horns on a young antelope or something. But we're definitely seeing some changes. But I was very surprised with the marked size difference between the two of them. It could just be the way they're sitting, of course. But it certainly seems to me that the one on the left is far larger. And you can see it seems to be a bit further along in terms of development. It's not quite as fluffy as the one on the right. Of course, don't forget, of course, the incubation in owls. They do have asynchronous hatching as well, so they would normally start incubating the second the first egg is laid, and there'll be a little bit of a delay between the first and the second egg. So one will get a sort of a kickstart in life. In a lot of birds of prey, the second egg is merely there as an insurance policy and is often not abandoned or ignored by the parents. If there's enough food to go around, they will do, but they will focus on that first chick. And unfortunately, the second one often doesn't make it. In owls, it's not quite as extreme as that. It's normal for a few of them to get to adulthood. But potentially the one on the left did hatch a few days before the one on the right, and has therefore been a little bit more dominant and a bit stronger in terms of getting food from the parents. But don't forget, if you miss this safari or any of the other safaris or escaped natures, you are always able to catch up on our app. We do our highlights and our best bits, so please do, if you haven't already, download our app, and you never have to miss any of the storylines of these great characters that we have here in all of our different locations. They're so fluffy at the moment. It's a shame they have to grow up. The one on the right's decided it's all too much, and I think he's got his eyes closed and having a sleep. Big brother or big sister is watching us very carefully. I like to think she's being protective. I haven't actually seen any feeding. I haven't, and I haven't heard any of the other naturalists when they've been here say that they've seen the adults actually bringing food to the young. That would be something very special to see.